presentation of Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are Ohio.
Welcome to the Queen City, the home of the Cincinnati Reds, as Fox Sports Ohio brings you Cincinnati Reds baseball. It's a good old-fashioned rivalry. Reunited again, the Reds and the Cubs, coming up next for a weekend set. Hi, hello, and welcome to Cincinnati, everyone. Along with the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley, I'm George Grant. Reds and Cubs, they played last week, and you know what happened there. But when you look at this year, the Reds, again, for the third year in a row, have gotten the best of the Cubs, winning 6 of the 9, Cowboy.
Well, the way they've done it, George, it seems like it's the same thing over and over again, pitching and defense. And you look at the 3-ball game or 4-ball games, that 3 that the Reds won, and a lot of it comes down to those last 2 categories. You look at the 35 walks on the Cubs side, only 19 for the Reds. I mean, you're cutting base runners in half. But probably the biggest thing is you cut the errors in half. And we watched some sloppy play out there in some very difficult situations, but that's why the Reds came up the way that they did, 3 out of the 4 ball games.
And the Reds have had great pitching all year. In fact, one of the reasons why they've had great pitching, they got Sean Marshall in the offseason for their bullpen for Travis Wood. Well, Woody pitched against the Reds last week. He pitched maybe his best game of the year.
Well, he did. And you look at a guy that has played with you in the past, and you think, well, I know exactly what this guy's going to do because I've watched him time and time again. Well, Travis Wood did the exact opposite to the Reds of what he had done in years past. Instead of pitching inside throughout the ball game, he pitched away, 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 and it caught a lot of Reds hitters by surprise. It caught a lot of Reds hitters swinging through pitches, and it made it very difficult for the Reds to put the ball in play and to put some runs on the board. On the flip side, with Bronson Arroyo, one of the biggest reasons that he won the ball game is he pitched backwards as well. I mean, Bronson Arroyo, a lot of fastballs, a lot of hard sinking balls inside early, and then he went to the breaking ball late. He kept the Cubs off balance. And isn't that what pitching is all about?
That's what Bronson Arroyo's made a career of. The Reds pitching has been great, but the Reds have also gotten a big boost from a couple of rookies, Zach Cozart, Todd Frazier. Cubs have too. When we return, we'll take a look at a Chicago Cub new look roster with a couple of young faces that are playing great baseball.
and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Great to have you with us back at Great American Ballpark. And of course, tonight's weather report is brought to you by Thompson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drain Cleaning. For the latest on the weather picture for this Friday night, here is Michelle Boudelette.
No rain in the forecast for the Reds game this evening. Look for mostly clear skies. Temperatures in the upper 70s early on, then falling into the upper 60s by the end of the game. A great night for a ball game. For Fox Sports Ohio, I'm Local 12 meteorologist Michelle Boudelette.
Thanks, Michelle. Let's put a W on the board. To do that, you got to get past a couple of fine young players. Anthony Rizzo, last 7 games has been outstanding. Cowboy, he's a real deal this year.
He really is, George. He's shortened his swing. He's making much better contact. Had a couple of hits in this ball game against the Reds. And still able, even with that shortened swing, to drive the ball where I don't think he thought that he could before playing in that huge ballpark at Petco. Brett Jackson on the other side, some people say 5-tool player. Sometimes with that ticket comes a lot of pressure, and when he got to the big leagues, he put a lot of pressure on himself. And you can see this guy and the guy above him in Rizzo, both of them have the talent to play here. It's just a matter of getting it done from the neck up.
You know what's happened on this club? They have 14 new players on the club. Those 2 new players have made an impact. Coming up next, Bronson Arroyo. He's made an impact on the Reds. This pitching staff has too. Coming up next, the Reds and the Cubs on Fox Sports Ohio. Friday night game, a day-night doubleheader on Saturday, then a single game on Sunday. The Cubs come to town with their new manager this year, Dale Swain, who's kept them alive all season long in spite of all the changes. Let's take a look at his starting lineup for the first of 4 tonight. Dale has David DeJesus leading it off. Darwin Barney will bat in the number 2 spot. Anthony Rizzo, fine young player at first. Soriano behind him in the cleanup spot. Then Starlin Castro, Luis Valbuena, Brett Jackson, Steve Clevenger, and Travis Wood, the former Red, in the 9th spot. And on the mound for the Reds, who last pitched against the Cubs, Bronson Arroyo. 4-2 win, Cowboy, for Bronson against the Cubs, and he had a stretch, maybe one of his best stretches of the year after that first inning.
Well, no doubt about that. George, and I think the big issue for Bronson, especially with some of these young players, it is so difficult to wait on a guy like Bronson. And he is going to make you wait, especially as many times as he changes speeds. Rarely in an at-bat will you see the same speed pitch. Sometimes in a ball game, you may not see the same speed pitch.
He's ahead here, no balls and 2 strikes in the 4-2 win. 8 innings, 5 hits for Royal last Saturday in Chicago. De Jesus had a base hit that plated 2. There's a fly ball to left, and after that, Bronson really slammed the door on the Cubs, retiring 19 of his last 20 batters. A check the Ford defensive alignment behind number 61 for the Reds. In the outfield, Ryan Ludwig, Drew Stubbs, Jay Bruce. In the infield, Scott Rowland back, along with Cozart and Phillips, your double play combo. Todd Frazier over at first, and Hannigan, as usual, catches Bronson Arroyo. The Reds have consistently been either 1 or 2 in defense all season long. Uncharacteristically, they made 3 errors yesterday in their loss to the Mets. Here's Darwin Barney. Zach Cozart and Todd Frazier, 2 of the premier rookies in the National League this year. Darwin Barney, when he burst upon the scene, Cowboy, you look at the middle of any club, and that's where your strength is: catcher, short, second, center. With Castro and Barney, the Cubs have something to build on there.
Well, they really do, and I think that's one of the reasons that they want to see what Brett Jackson can do in center field. He's got tremendous speed. He's got a good arm. He has power at times at the plate, but you got to make contact to make it happen.
Darwin, good with the glove, good worker too. There's a 2-hopper down to short. He'll motor down the line, but Cozart will get him by a step, and there's 2 away. Picture perfect night tonight. What a difference 24 hours makes. We were waiting on the rain last night. It rained everywhere around downtown Cincinnati except the ballpark. Doug Gallen and his forecast, Doug said, it's going to rain a little after 9. He hit it right on the nose. It started about 9:15, and it sprinkled, but we got the game in.
Reds fortunate that game was going quickly.
Here's Anthony Rizzo. 296, 9 homers, 25 knocked in. He has really come of age this year. Acquired by Chicago from San Diego with a minor league pitcher. Originally picked by the Red Sox in the 6th round of the 2007 draft. So don't be surprised why he's here. Theo Epstein, the former Red Sox general manager, and Jed Hoyer, who was the number 2 man in Boston, took him from San Diego, where Jed was, brought him here. And of course, you know what happened with the Reds. The Reds traded Yonder Alonso to San Diego. You knew Yonder would get at bats, so it's a new life for Rizzo here, and he's taking advantage of it. Line to center field. Just about in his tracks. Oh, it drops in front of Stubbs. He took a step back, and the ball just sunk in front of him, and he whiffed on it for an error. Not often you see that from the Red center fielder.
Always one of the toughest plays to make is the ball that's hit directly at you, because it's the most difficult to judge whether it's going over your head or whether it's going to drop in front of you, as that ball did there. That was a big swing from Anthony Rizzo, but the ball was hit off the end of the bat. You can't see that from center field until the last second.
So an error charge to Stubbs, who has been outstanding in center field all year.
Yeah, that does not happen very much.
His 4th error of the season. That's funny because, Cowboy, you were there. You played a lot of games at Wrigley Field. That windblown game may have been one of the toughest games that I've ever seen at Wrigley. Even Jimmy Banks, the traveling secretary who's been there for years and years and years, said it was one of the more bizarre days he's ever seen with the windblown.
Well, Dusty and I, even after the years of playing at Candlestick Park out in San Francisco, where the wind blew nonstop, didn't matter when it was, and I've never seen anything of gale force wind of that magnitude.
One fly ball to center was caught by Xavier Paul. Another fly ball to center with the wind pushing it to right field. Paul missed it by about 25 feet.
Well, the ball that really got me was the ball that Kozart called for, and Todd Frazier caught it right in front of the first base dugout.
And there was one other one. There was a pop-up behind short that ended up on the Reds dugout.
Yeah.
That's a walk. So Soriano will walk. Soriano in his career has struggled against Bronson. 10 for 48, a 208 average. Alfonso, power numbers again this year. Another year of 20 home runs, 21, 71 knocked in. Dave McKay, the new first base coach here. Strange for him to be apart from Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa. They've been together since 1983. He followed La Russa to Oakland and then on to San Diego. He's their outfield coach, and he said it too. He said that was one of the strangest days I've ever seen in any park. He's the outfield coach for the Chicago Cubs as well as their first base coach.
That's a fair ball. Hit off the
went off the top of the cap.
I did not realize that it had hit the batter's foot before it took off down the line.
Cowboy, you've seen this young man a lot in the last couple of years. A brilliant young prospect. Castro's in at 276, 12 homers, 58 knocked in. How good can he be?
I like him a lot at the plate, George. Some of the things that he does at shortstop, as far as moving backwards as the ball is put into play, I think that's something that needs to be corrected if he's going to be among the great shortstops. He's got a tremendous arm, but when the ball is put in play, his first move is backwards, and I don't understand that. That's not what I've ever heard from an infielder. Everything has always been first movement into the ball, and then you can adjust, especially if it's a ball that you've got to get a good hop on. But he threw more balls with his back foot on the grass at Wrigley, and one of them he slipped on, and it cost him an error.
1 ball, 1 strike. That's a strike, says Tim Wilkie, who's the home plate umpire today. Paul Schreiber's down at first. Mike Everett, your second base umpire, and Laz Diaz over at third. Your umpiring crew for this 4-game set.
And whether or not Castro comes through in the clutch here in this situation, he has been a clutch hitter with runners in scoring position. That's the one thing that I love about this kid. He is afraid of nothing.
That's a base hit into right. Bruce is charging. They'll hold the runner at third, and Bruce's throw is right on the money.
They got it.
They got Soriano's pocket pick. To the plate will come the throw. Boy, credit Jay Bruce. He started all of that and charged Soriano with a brain cramp, rounding second. So Bruce will get another assist. The Reds get out of the inning. Reds baseball from Great American Ballpark on Fox Sports Ohio, being brought to you by the 2012 Ford F-150 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, by the Regional Tourism Network. Let us be your travel guide to Cincinnati, USA. Visit CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili. Game time is Skyline time. Stop by your favorite Skyline Chili today. Cowboy, take us through this one more time.
As you said, George, perfect approach, perfect one-hop throw by Jay Bruce, right on the money at the plate. You see out here Soriano caught in no man's land. And watch Cozart. First thing that he does out of his peripheral vision is he sees Rizzo take off for home plate. Perfect throw to the plate. Rizzo deader than a doornail.
All started with a perfect throw from that guy, charging, throwing, and Pat Listash did the right thing. The runner would have been a dead duck at the plate.
Oh.
It all falls on Soriano's shoulders.
Well, he wasn't paying attention.
Here's Zach Cozart, who alertly got to the bag to cover. And he'll lead it off in the bottom of the first against Travis Wood. Numbers for Cozart, who's had a solid rookie season. The numbers tell you one part of it, but what he's done for the Reds defensively is even more impressive. Trying to jam him inside, he'll chip his bat and go back for a new piece of lumber. How about Travis, Cowboy?
Travis Wood really, when he was with the Reds, I really thought, George, that he was going to end up being one of the better pitchers that the Reds had. And the reason I say that is he understood how to pitch inside and then how to change speeds on the outside part of the plate. And somewhere along the line, whether it was confidence, whether it was mechanics, grip, whatever it was, he lost that inside part of the plate, and it cost him. And he's just now getting it back.
You know, you talk about second chances. We told you about, Theo Epstein and his belief in Rizzo as being a guy that could make it up here. The pitching coach for the Chicago Cubs is Chris Bosio, who was a pitching coach in the Reds organization. He knew Wood well, and he believed that he still had a lot left in him and that he could reconstruct him. And
I do too.
He is.
I believe that he can pitch up here. I know he can pitch up here. It's just a matter of getting it done.
Swing and a miss. Strikeout number one. Out number one. Here is your Reds lineup for Dusty Baker. The Reds come in with a 6-game lead over the Pirates in the Central. Stubbs will bat second. Brandon Phillips will hit in the number 3 spot. Brian Ludwig, the cleanup hitter, followed by Jay Bruce. Todd Frazier, Scott Rowland back in the lineup. Hannigan, as usual, catches a Royal. He'll hit in the 8 spot, and Bronson will hit in the number 9 spot. That's your Cincinnati Reds batting order. Here's Drew at 278, 14 homers, 36 knocked in.
Now you see here in these first 2 at-bats, inside cut fastballs, change-ups away, but predominantly Wood pitching inside. He did not do that in the first start. He stayed away the entire ball game. Every once in a while he would come in, but only for effect.
With his repertoire in Cincinnati, especially in the minor leagues, and his stint in the major leagues, there were some in the organization who believed he fell in love with his cutter.
Right. And when you fall in love with your cutter, it gets bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden the hitter sees it. And if the hitter can see it, he can hit it. That cutter is all fine and good, but you've got to have something that keeps the hitter honest on the outside part of the plate. Very similar with a right-handed pitcher that throws a lot of breaking balls. Well, the breaking ball may be great, but you better pitch inside some.
Ball and 2 strikes to the Red center fielder. Stubbs represents really the lone running threat in the Reds lineup. The difference here is that Wood is pretty stingy, keeps the runners close. So The Reds in this particular series, with Stubbs leading it off against Wood, have a tough time getting things going with the running game. That's on Valbuena, who waves at it. Castro may have had a chance to make a play, but Valbuena swiped at that.
And the only reason that Castro would have had a play there is because he has such a strong arm, and the fact that he was standing right behind Valbuena. Evidently not much communication there, but they're talking right now, and evidently it appeared on that play that Valbuena pulled his glove back to let Castro have the ball, and the hop was just too bad on Castro.
It'll go as a base hit, so Stubbs is on.
Only 9 stolen bases in 304 and a third innings pitch has Wood given up.
That's impressive.
And this is from a left-hander that doesn't pick off a whole lot of people. He's just quick to the plate.
Strike one to Brandon. Popped high in the air to short center field. Here comes Brett Jackson in. He'll haul it in for the second out of the inning. Here's your Cubs defense. This team looks significantly different from the team that started the season. Alfonso Soriano still hasn't made an error in left, but he doesn't get to many balls. Jackson, 5-tool player, good arm, great speed. De Jesus has been a center fielder. He's playing right here. Valbuena, Castro, and Barney, the double play combos, and Rizzo over at first. Steve Clevenger will catch tonight.
Rizzo not only swings the bat well, but he's done an awfully good job at picking the ball at first base on those one hoppers from the infielders.
He credits Adrian Gonzalez, who was the first baseman in San Diego, with helping him in spring training, giving him some pointers, some tips about the bag and how to handle throws. And every good infield needs a guy that can help you at first, and he's becoming that. Look out. Reaching over Stubbs' shoulder. He can't get it. Stubbs going to round second, but hold there. The throw went to the other side of Stubbs, so Rizzo couldn't get to it. That'll be an error on the pitcher.
Well, what Stubbs did there is he went back in, standing up towards the first base or towards the home plate side of the bag. His left foot hits the back part of the bag, but the rest of his body is coming towards home plate, which in effect blocked Rizzo from getting to the baseball. That's how you go back in, standing up.
Big guy to get around. That's a ball to Ryan Ludwig. Ludwig in at 268. Now up to 22 home runs and 65 knocked in. Well, he pumps up the right hand for a strike, a ball and a strike.
It's amazing how speed messes you up. Even when you don't allow many stolen bases, just one little throw over to first base, and the next thing you know, the guy's standing at second anyway.
Reds trying to convert, and they've got a guy who's been successful in doing that for them this whole second half. Ludwig, since the 21st of July, there are his rankings. And add to that, he's 13 of 29 with runners in scoring position during that time, too. You know, there are a lot of candidates, and yesterday Burnett won his 15th. He's had a tremendous comeback year for the Pirates, but this guy could be the comeback player of the year.
Well, he's definitely going to get some votes if he doesn't win it. He has meant a ton to this Reds ball club.
That's his big unloaded swing. with 1 strike. He'll shorten it with 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, there was so much talk at the trade deadline about going out and trying to get a leadoff hitter, as you see this backdoor cut fastball, and Ludwig comes up empty. But Ludwig and Stubbs were playing so well at the time that Walt Jocketty just decided to, well, let's just make our bullpen even that much better and go get Jonathan Broxton. Because when you look at the playoffs, which hopefully this club will be there, it really revolves around the last few innings of the game. I mean, we have seen that year after year after year.
And Tony La Russa's management of the bullpen really brought them a world championship last year. In 1990, the Nasty Boys were the keynote of the Reds' postseason success.
I mean, Tony, the bullpen they had last year just
hit pretty good to right. Didn't get enough of it, though. De Jesus under it. David's got it, and the Reds will strand a runner. Hit and error, but no run for the Reds. Here we go to the second. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Dial 1-800-ELK, Ohio. How good is Bronson being against the Cubs? Cowboy, no matter how you look at it, he's in rarefied air. What company?
Well, when you start mentioning Bronson Arroyo with the likes of Maddox, Andahar, and Carlton, I'll take that comparison any day of any year, any week.
And really, this is a game of comparisons. I mean, you know, you wrap up your career, and as a guy who was a closer and of Rolaids caliber, when you put your name with those guys and your career's over, you don't think about it when you're playing. But
no.
When you put your name with a list like that, makes you feel pretty good as you add it all up, huh?
It really does, and I think that's one of the things for this Reds ball club, that when Aroldis Chapman was named to the All-Star team, even the weeks leading up to that, when he realized that that was going to be something that he had just achieved, it turned his whole season around. I mean, he went from the games that we saw against Pittsburgh and against Minnesota to lights out. And he has been lights out ever since.
Well, how about your career? I mean, to be named to your first All-Star game, I mean, first of all, your eyes are popping out of your head.
Yeah,
but you took it from that and went another level.
Well, the thing about that All-Star game is you finally realize that you belong here. Mm-hmm. And I don't care who you are or what you've done, until you're put on that All-Star team, you still wonder if you're part of the best.
Now Buena sends it to right. He puts a jolt into it, and that's going to be gone. Valbuena's 4th home run of the year. And Bronson's touch for the round tripper. It's 1-0 Cubs.
That appeared to be a pitch that Bronson left up in the strike zone, and oh yeah, that was up all right. That ball wanted to be inside. At least that's where Hannigan had them in. It didn't end up inside.
Here's Brett Jackson. Valbuena drills home run number 4, and the Cubs have a lead. Here's the young, speedy outfielder hitting in the 7th spot. Jackson, a world of potential, but he's been doing that a lot. 18 strikeouts and 32 at bats so far.
And a lot of that, George, comes from wanting to show the rest of your teammates, your bosses, your manager, your hitting coach, the guy that lockers next to you, hey, I can play this game too. But as a young player, you have to realize that you cannot swing at every ball that comes to the plate. There are so many veteran pitchers out there. They see you swing at one pitch that's off. They know that you'll swing at them all, and they will not give you a strike, as you see what Bronson has done here.
Strike zone expands. And you talk about leadership. The one thing the Cubs are looking for is leadership for the future, and some young leadership. And Anthony Rizzo went through last year what Jackson's going through this year. And already Chris Bosio, the pitching coach, Dale Swaim, the manager, have said that Rizzo is trying to help Jackson through it. Last year, in 128 at bats, Rizzo struck out 46 times. Looping fly ball to right. In fact, Bosio said in spring training, Rizzo established himself to his pitchers and to everybody on the club. He was showing up at pitchers meetings, the first meetings of the day, just to get an idea what the pitchers were going to do, to get an idea of how to defend. So he's turned the page, and he's becoming a pretty impressive young man, and they hope that he can help translate that to Jackson.
Well, leadership is not given, it is earned, and more times than not, it is earned not by numbers, it is earned by hard work. And when your peers see that, they will cling and hold on.
I remember Bobby Cox saying once, when you have leadership and chemistry, you know it on your club. When you don't have it, you don't know how to get it back. It's not easy to get back. And that's one thing he did with the Braves all those years. He didn't allow it to leave. There was always a leader. Heck, when you came up, you had like Mike Krukow in your pitching staff, people like that to help lead the way.
Tons of guys. You don't let them get away from your organization, even if they're not as productive as they were, say, the year before or the year that you're in now. You do not let them leave because of what they can do for your young players.
If there was a critical mistake for the Reds, it's losing guys like Larkin, Casey, Boone, Scott Sullivan, go down the list, all in the span of 2 years, and really there was a leadership void that it's taken years to get back again.
Bowden.
Pay the price. That's a walk to Clevenger. Now, last night, one of the key mistakes of the night for Homer Bailey was a walk, and that was intentional, to the number 8 hitter, and then Matt Harvey, who everyone knew was a pretty good hitting pitcher, drills a double to plate 2. And here's Wood. Travis, 6 for 30, not a bad guy with the bat. 1 away. Will they sacrifice with him?
They did not sacrifice in Chicago, at least not until he got one swing of the bat. Now, he took that pitch. We shall see. But he can handle the bat a little bit.
Royal to the stretch. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball drops in there, and it's 1-1. Wood steps out, checks Pat Listash, the former major leaguer and longtime coach. Once a rookie of the year. Flashing signs down at third. There goes the runner. There's a foul ball to the left side. Dale Swaim's the manager in Chicago. He managed in the minor leagues, was a third base coach in a lot of places. In fact, he was the third base coach for Theo Epstein in Boston before he left there to come back to Milwaukee. And he took over as the interim manager for Milwaukee when Ned Yost was relieved of his duties, and the first thing he did, swing and a miss, and that's a strikeout in the second out. He had a month to show what he could do, and he was hitting, running, stealing, making his club be aggressive.
Just did it with the pitcher there. Hitting and running with the pitcher. I'm not sure I've seen that one in a while.
Here's the leadoff hitter, David DeJesus again. Flied to left first time up. Solid player. Good on base percentage from the leadoff spot. One of the top 4 in the league right now. Good job by Frazier. Flags it down, taps the bag.
He's money over there.
Bronson gives up a homer. It's 1-0, but Frazier saves at least a double with this play. Reds go to work. Frazier will be up second when we return. Susan Anderson from Cincinnati, a proud owner of a new Highlander, will win this beautiful new Tundra on display at Great American Ballpark. Register for your chance to win at an upcoming game by seeing your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Hey, time for tonight's Farmers Insurance report card. Jay Bruce, 3 home runs in 3 games before last night, and impressively 2 home runs against left-handers this past week. And his numbers against lefties, you know, people like to criticize for different things, but these numbers are pretty impressive, Cowboy.
Well, anytime that you're left-handed and you hit home runs off of left-handed pitching in that kind of differential, that's pretty awesome. I've also got another note here. He's got, in his first 5 seasons, at least 20 home runs as a Red. There's only one other Red that's ever done that. Frank Robinson.
He's in the Hall of Fame. Here's Jay. And overall at 250 now with 24 homers and 74 knocked in. The Cubs have done different things against him. It's a moderate shift this time. The third baseman Valbueno's over at short, and Castro's not as far behind the bag as he was in Chicago. Tardy on that one, and it's 0-2. Now you play with a player in the minor leagues. He's your teammate in the major leagues. When he's a pitcher, you think you have him figured out. Well, Wood has confused the Reds hitters the last 2 times he's pitched against them. 1 away.
And I think that's a credit to Travis Wood, because the one thing that you try to do as a pitcher is disrupt the timing of the hitter that's standing at the plate. If you can do that on a regular basis, you're going to win a lot of games. If you can do that against a team that really knows you well, guys that you came up with, well, that should bode well for your confidence.
There's Frazier, 283, 15 homers, 49 knocked in, and Zippo, there's a base hit. So the Reds have a 1-out runner on, and here comes Scott Rowland. Rowland still battling back from a bad back, a back problem that reoccurred on a bus trip from Milwaukee back to Chicago last week.
A couple of guys came down with that same kind of issue. He just got the worst end of it.
And you've been on a lot of those bus rides, Cowboy.
Oh, yeah.
The minor league ones are worse.
Yeah.
The 8-10 hour ones.
Yeah, they don't help your back much.
But as a veteran who's been around and with back troubles, all it takes is an hour in a bad position and you're in trouble.
You know, it's funny that you say that, because sometimes it only takes 5 or 10 minutes or one move in the wrong way, and that whole bottom of your back spasms up and it won't let go for a week. And that's about how long it took for Rowland to get back in the lineup.
Right field towards the corner, curving, De Jesus over, and he's got it in fair territory.
Wow.
Well, they were shading him that way, and he covered a lot of ground to get there. 2 away.
Pretty good catch with his face heading straight for that wall over there. There is a pad along the concrete, but that is solid concrete where those folks are standing. And you can see him catch the ball and look down quickly, then find the runner.
Well, the Reds are blessed with great outfield play, and the Cubs have the makings with De Jesus in right and Jackson in center of the basis of a pretty good outfield. And Soriano, don't let the errors or lack of errors deceive you. He just doesn't get the balls.
No.
Came up as a shortstop. One strike to Hannigan. Short lead for Frazier. Frazier going. In the dirt, got the foot in. Well, he picked his pocket. I mean, Frazier didn't look like he was going anywhere, and Rizzo came off the bag, did not hold him on, really. So Frazier got an extra 2 or 3 feet, and here's your steal.
Well, he got that off of Travis Wood, and right as we started the ball game, we were singing the praises of folks not being able to steal a base off of Travis Wood because he is so quick to the plate. And he gives up one there. He held the ball just too long.
Third stolen base for Frazier. He's been caught twice. Bobble by Rizzo. Wood won't get there. He'll drop the ball, and the Reds will get a run. Keep hustling. That's exactly what Hannigan did. And it looked like Wood might have stumbled a bit as he got to the bag. And the Reds will get a gift run.
Almost appeared as though the two ran together. Both the base runner and Travis Wood. Oh, Travis just dropped the baseball. That probably is going to end up being a double error.
Should be two. The first baseman dropped the ball and Travis dropped it again. If either one of them catches it cleanly, the inning is over. So the Reds get the break.
Exactly.
They're just scoring it an error on Rizzo. One error. Error on the pitcher, rather. They're going to score an error on the pitcher, Wood, and no run batted in. No run batted in, but the Reds get a run. And we're tied at 1. You've said it so often, and Chris Welch says the same thing. As a pitcher, the one thing you want is the ball as soon as you can get it when you get to first. Not when you're at the bag, but before you get to the bag.
As soon as possible. Hit me right in my throat. And to be honest with you, that was not a bad throw from Rizzo to Travis Wood. But I think Travis was already past the bag and was trying to catch the ball and hold on to the bag all in one motion, and your concentration leaves you and you don't squeeze the ball.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Bronson. Hanging in there is the Reds pitcher, and it stays 2-2. Got him a strikeout for Wood. That's his second, but the Reds get a run on the gift, and we're tied at 1. Barney up when we return. One to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Hey, Great American Ballpark Sundays are always family days. Each Sunday home game, families can purchase up to 3 non-premium tickets at half price with the purchase of 1 full-price ticket in the same section. Plus, Sundays feature Cool Reds giveaways. Such for kids. Don't miss out on all the family fun on Sundays at the ballpark. Offer available in advance of game day only. Some restrictions do apply. Visit reds.com/family for more details. 1-1 ball game as we head to the top of the third. Darwin Barney will lead it off. Barney, 26 years of age, native of Oregon, drafted by the Cubs back in 2007. Just like Travis Wood, came through their system as Wood came through the Red system. Bangs this one down to Rolen, and Scott has it for the first out. He's 0 for 2, 2 ground balls to the left side.
Even though the ball is hit hard, you hit it to the wrong guy, and you can hustle down the line all you want, but very rarely are you going to beat out that guy with the baseball.
8 Gold Gloves tells a big story.
He plays the game the way it's supposed to be played. Back spasms, age, I don't care what you put out there.
Before the game today, talking to Theo Epstein, the general manager of the Cubs who came over from Boston, I said, what's been the most challenging part of taking this new job? And he said, on the field or off the field? I said, we'll start on the field. He says, getting leadership for these young players.
Yeah, it always is.
And he was referring to the likes of, they were in pennant races with the Yankees every year, and the likes of, Tino Martinez and Paul O'Neill and Scott Brocious over at the Yankees. That's what turned them around. And when he brought up Dustin Pedroia and Youkilis, go down the list in Boston, the players who helped.
Guys that have been there.
Yep. And he said, you have the same thing in Scott Rolen.
Yep.
He's right.
That's why Walt Jocketty went and got him when he did.
Off the end of the bat, Rolen. 5-3 put out. Rizzo retired. It's great to have good young players, but they need to be supplemented and augmented by someone who shows you how to play the game. And that guy right there has done it every place he's been.
And not only showing you how to play the game, but also how to recover when you have a crummy game, and how to recover when you have a few bad games or a bad at bat or things don't quite go your way.
Left field on a line. Ludwig there, and a 1-2-3 for Bronson. He wanted that. Top of the order, Zach Cozart due up. Wedding Party is tonight's special guest on the Fan Express to Reds Country. For more information, how you and your group can get on the Fox Sports Ohio Fan Express to Reds Country, call 513-765-7600 or visit reds.com/Fan Express. There's our Fan Express group. A happy wedding weekend for the Navarro family. Jesse, I thought you were going to get that in celebration of yesterday's birthday. You had that big party at the house last night. Here's Zach, struck out first time up. Tennessee native. Another 2007 draftee. Just turned 27 this month. Blooped. Castro's got it. Nice play by the young shortstop.
Played for my college catcher. Kozar did. Collierville, Tennessee.
He learned the right way, didn't he?
He did. But then he went to Ole Miss.
Yeah, but there's a story behind that, too.
It is. It's part of it.
That's right. Here's Stubbs. Infield hit, then went to second on an error, was left stranded. Pirates are on the road tonight, facing the Cardinals. They're just about ready to get underway in the National League Central, and you got the feeling, Cowboy, that both the Cardinals and the Pirates are going to be in this all the way through as we head to September.
Well, if I'm in a Cincinnati Red uniform, I don't think about it in any other way. I mean, I don't think you ever write off any team until they say they're mathematically eliminated. I've seen too many crazy things happen in this game, and I know you have too.
2-2. That's a call, strike three. Third strikeout for Wood. There have been a lot of outstanding managerial jobs this year, and Clint Hurdle in Pittsburgh and Mike Matheny in St. Louis are on that list. Is that good enough for a strike? It is, said Fox Tracks.
And I think you look here with Dusty Baker. You look in Washington with Davey Johnson. Both of those guys, phenomenal jobs. And that's the one of the things that you have to look at. And other teams, but I'm sure, are looking at it the same. The guys you named, as well as those two guys. Be a heck of a vote when it gets down to it.
Now Dusty lost by a vote to Bud Black in 2010.
That's right.
Not to take anything away from Bud, he had a great year.
Yep.
What Dusty did that year was miraculous. He was a manager here, of course, as a Chicago Cub manager. We're still tied at 1 going to the 4th. Ballpark Sunday, August 26th. The first 8,000 kids 14 and younger receive a Kids Gapper Cup courtesy of Frisch's. And make sure you take advantage of the Meyer ticket deal to see if your Reds can take home a win that day. They'll take on the Cardinals, and you can get the tickets at half price. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS or visit reds.com/family. Some restrictions apply. We're tied at 1 as we go to the 4th. Castro, Valbuena, and Brett Jackson due up facing Bronson Arroyo. Arroyo got out of trouble in the first after Rizzo reached on an error. And then Starlin Castro singled in what looked like a run, but a great throw by Bruce to the plate. And a bad base running play by Alfonso Soriano. Hung up Rizzo between third and home, and they tagged him out. So Arroyo got out of trouble there. The lead off the second, Valbuena homered to make it 1-0. And here's Starlin, who got that base hit first time up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Under the glove of Arroyo, past the diving second baseman Brandon Phillips, and Castro's on with his second hit. Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, the Bengals are 2-0 this preseason, and Zach Jackson lists the 10 things that he learned from last night's preseason game. And follow all of tonight's action on the ultimate second screen experience using Game Connect on FoxSportsOhio.com.
You got to imagine that Starlin Castro feels pretty good playing in this ballpark, especially after what he did in the first game here.
Yeah, what a night that was. I mean, talk about bursting on the scene. Strike 1 to Valbuena. Looping fly ball to left over is Ludwig. Castro goes halfway, and he'll retreat to first. Cowboy, you were here that May day at Great American Ballpark. What a day.
May 7th. High and out over the plate. And he lifts that baby right into the right field bleachers. A home run, and I mean, how many RBIs can you have on one day? Especially when it's your rookie day. Wow.
And that was just the start of what turned out to be a 300 year for him in 125 games in 2010. And it was backed up by a 2011 season where he had 207 hits and led the league in hits.
A very talented young man. And I mean, that's just a fact. And probably not giving him his due by just saying it that way.
Still a base, too. He's got 19, so Arroyo has to keep a close eye on him.
22 years old.
Hop to the left side. That'll be out of play. He became the youngest Cub ever to make an all-star team at 21. I believe Carlos Zambrano was 23 when he made it. So they both burst upon the scene in meteoric fashion. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bigger lead for Castro here. Not going. Jackson, we talk about 2007 draftees. He was only drafted 3 years ago in 2009 out of Cal Berkeley. Great pick by Hannigan, or else Castro was already on his horse ready to go to second.
This is one of those 45-foot change-ups, and Arroyo held on to it way too long, trying to turn it over and run it back away from the left-handed hitter. And when you turn a ball over like that, you have a tendency to get it stuck into that last pinky finger and drive it straight down into the ground.
Full count runner going, fouled off at the plate by Jackson. Now, in this day and age of offense at every position, still you look at the teams that win. You know, American League is a little different, but overall, if you're going to win, you need somebody behind the plate that can call a game and protect his pitcher with plays like that.
You're right. I don't know that you're going to see teams in the playoffs without a real catcher.
Runner going, line off the glove of Phillips, and the runner will be on. It'll be first and third. It looked like it was knuckling as it went to Phillips. We'll see how they score it.
Well, that ball looked like it just ate Brandon up. He started to break towards second base, and then at the last second, the ball looks like it's hooking back away from him, back towards where he came from.
I mean, all Brandon can say is, wow, that it was. I mean, that's better than any of the R.A. Dickey knuckleballs that we saw the other day.
Wow.
It'll be scored a base hit. So a hit for Jackson, and it's now first and third. Still only one out.
What appeared to be a double play ball ends up a base hit. Luckily, it only rolled a few feet away from Phillips.
If he catches it in the air, it's probably a double play. Yeah. If it hits the ground, it's probably a double play. And the Reds will remain at double play depth with runners at first and third, and Clevenger at the plate. He walked first time up. Hey, Reds fans, August is National Sandwich Month, so celebrate it with JTM's quick and delicious meatball sub kits. Pick up a bag today. That's JTM.
Sure, Bronson Arroyo would like to have a ground ball to one of those infielders right now.
There's a big difference between Bronson Arroyo, the pitcher who came to the major leagues as a contributor to the 2004 Red Sox team, and today it's that he coaxes more ground ball double plays than he ever did when he was predominantly a fly ball pitcher. This is in the dirt, and they won't get there in time. The run will score. Well, Hannigan picked the last one, couldn't get this one.
And for Ryan Hannigan, you can't do any more than what he did on the breaking ball. You watch him go down. He's got the glove in between his legs. The ball bounces off the heel of the glove, and because of the way the ball is spinning, that's why it takes off dead to the left of the pitcher, dead to the right of Hannigan.
So Castro scores and Jackson goes to second. And it's 2-1. That misses outside.
Couple of tough breaks for Bronson Arroyo here in this inning. What he thought he had as a double play, and then it ends up as a wild with a wild pitch, and the run scores anyway.
It's been a strange couple of ball games, the last couple, after airtight defense. The Strange things have been happening to the baseball. 3-2. Ooh, just missed inside.
Wow.
So Clevenger walks for the second time, and that'll bring Wood back up. He struck out last time up.
Trying to bring this one back to the inside corner, and according to Fox Tracks, that's strike 3. But Tim Welke does not work for Fox Tracks.
It's up first and second. Still one away, and here comes the pitcher Wood. Travis showed no inclination to bunt first time up. The sacrifice was swinging on a hit and run, and eventually struck out. That's a base hit into center. Jackson has great speed. He rounds third. The throw coming to the plate won't be in time. They got a chance for the runner at second, and they get him. But Wood gets a run scoring single to center, and that makes it 3-1 Chicago.
Tried to get a sinking fastball in on Wood, and the ball stayed up. He tattoos it right up the middle. It was a great throw by Stubbs, but as you said, George, Brett Jackson can fly. And a heads-up play by Hannigan by getting rid of the ball, getting it down to second base, because as we know from seeing Travis Wood, he can run as well.
I'm surprised it was as close as it was at home plate. Stubbs charging made it close, but Jackson with great speed, he almost expected the ball to be cut from the beginning.
Shows you how hard Travis Wood hit that baseball.
Yeah. The 3-1 Cubs back to the top of the order with a runner on third and 2 away now. De Jesus fly to left, bounce to first. Ball and a strike. Inside corner, he got that call, and it's 2-2.
That's the pitch that Bronson wanted against Steve Clevenger, who is standing at third base. Start in and run back over the inside corner. When it's down, more times than not, you're going to get that call. When it's up and it's borderline, that's when it's a little bit iffy.
Drill to right. Bruce right there, though. Couple of hard hit balls, a wild pitch, and a base hit. Couple of runs scored. Travis Wood has a 3-1 lead as we go to the bottom of 4. brought to you by JTM Food Group, creating great dishes together with the food service industry for over 30 years. By your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For over 30 Toyota offers available now, visit buyatoyota.com, including mobile. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Fountain Square in downtown Cincinnati. It is just a picture-perfect night for baseball after some rain last night. We're looking at a pretty good weekend, and already Sunday just about a sellout. The night game tomorrow just about a sellout. There's a day game tomorrow with some tickets available. So still a few tickets available for the remaining 3 of this 4-game set. Reds and the Cubs, always an interesting battle. And hard to believe, Cowboy, these two teams have played each other over 2,000 times. The Cubs have won 1,099 games, and the Reds have won 1,081. I mean, that's amazing in the history of these two franchises to wind up that close. Reds have won the most of it of late, 6 out of the 9 this year, and over the last 3 years, they've dominated the Cubs. Here's Ryan Ludwig, flied to right first time up. Drill left field, going back. Is it number 25? It is. That's a no-doubter, huh?
Dead red first pitch fastball hitter. And that's that cut fastball that you talked about earlier. I talked about it. And when you fall in love with it and you don't get it in, you see where that ball is. That ball's down. And most people would say, boy, that's a pretty good pitch. Not when you're looking in, it's not.
Ryan Ludwig delivers the big shot, and the Reds are within 1, 3-2. Boy, has he been money in the bank.
He really
second
has.
half of this year.
He really has, George.
Bruce gets it in the ribs.
And I think when you talk about what Ryan Ludwig has done, as this ball is right in the rib cage of Jay Bruce. And I don't think that ball slipped away one bit.
No. I agree.
That was a flat-out purpose pitch. He hit Jay right in the rib cage.
And I could, no word said, but you could see the way Jay looked at him. There was
not happy.
Here's Frazier, single to center, first time up. Homer and a hit batsman. The Reds trying to mount a rally here in the 4th.
But I think what we were talking about, George, is the effect that Ryan Ludwig has had on this ball club since Joey Votto has had to step away. And we all know what the man at the plate has done. And sometimes one of them gets lost in the other one's glory. But both of these guys they've really stepped up their game. There's a lot of guys that have stepped up their game, but these two guys have really done a tremendous job.
Well, Cowboy, you bring up a point that's really very valid, because when Joey went out, since Joey went out, the Reds are 21-9, and this guy's had a lot to do with it. So our Meyer text poll of tonight: when Joey does return, where should Frazier play the most? Infield, outfield, or where? Text 1 or 2 to 37664. 1 for infield, 2 for outfield to 37664. Normal messaging rates do apply. We'll show the results later in the broadcast.
Well, and the reason that we have infield or outfield is he could play third or first as this ball is fouled back, or he could play one of the positions in the outfield. He could play left, he could play right. And we're not talking about on an everyday basis. We're talking about where will he be playing the most. Because what everyone has to understand is when Joey Votto comes back, he is not going to be able to play every single day.
Right.
He's got to have some time and a break in between tough games. He may be able to play 4 days in a row and need a day off. And especially going into the end of September, you want him to be able to go into the month of October as fresh as a daisy. So Todd Frazier is the one that's going to be picking up the slack.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Frazier. Drilled to left, going back, gonna be gone. On cue, Cowboy. He must have been listening to you. Homers for Frazier. The Reds have a 4-3 lead.
And you see where both of those pitches are. They are cut fastballs. They are down in the zone, but they are on the plate. That's exactly the same pitch that Ludwig hit out, and it's the same pitch that Frazier hits out. A cut fastball is supposed to start on the plate and get off. Not start on the plate and stay on the plate.
Strike 1 to Rolen, who flied out first time up. You know, the other part of that at bat was that little flick of a swing that he stayed alive 2-2. I mean, he's done that so many times just to hang in there and keep an at bat alive.
I don't know how he does it. And I've seen him pull base hits out with that little lunge and flip of the bat. And he's done that since he was 8 or 9 years old.
He did that in the Little League World Series.
World Series. I watched him get a hit like that. The one thing that I did notice here, though, is that Travis Wood did not hit Scott Rowland in the ribs.
Pass, foul bueno, but a foul ball.
I don't think Travis wanted Scott to come to the mound.
Just foul.
I wouldn't want Scott to come to the mound after me either.
The rookie list for Reds. There's the number. That's another foul ball. I'll show it to you again. Frazier's numbers. There are a lot of reasons that guy is in contention for Rookie of the Year. Offense might be one of them, but I think what we've been talking about is maybe more a part of it, at least from a Red standpoint. 16 of them in a pennant race. And that's foul. He's wearing out that corner.
Well, this is what Travis Wood is doing now. He is cutting that fastball, which is starting on the middle end part of the plate and getting off the plate, and by the time Rolen gets to it, it's a ball.
High down the left field line towards the corner, curving, and that'll go foul. It just kept hooking, didn't have much of a chance to stay fair, but Rolen's wearing out that line. Stays 1-2.
But what Travis Wood has got to figure out is, when do I go away? I've come in, I've come in, I've come in. Sooner or later, you've got to make an off-speed pitch away. You can't just continue to go in with a cut fastball, because the hitter is going to take it after a while, or they're going to hit it out of the ballpark. Looked like he tried to go away there and left it right in the heart of the plate.
Clevenger wanted the fastball away. As it turned out, it was right down the middle. Wants away again. to center. Rowland gets the best of him, and that's the third hit in the inning. 2 long home runs and that solid line drive. You know, maybe Travis Wood has awakened the Reds a little bit.
Yeah.
Take us through those round trippers, Cowboy.
Well, you watch Ludwig's pitch. It is down, and you think, hey, that's a great pitch. But yet, it stays on the plate. Watch this pitch. Same thing. Cut fastball down. Look at where they make contact. Low and lift. And both balls end up in the left field bleachers. Because the pitch started on the plate. It says hit me or swing. The hitter starts to swing. The ball stays on the plate. It never gets off. And it makes contact right to the bat. Goodbye baseball. If that ball bounces in the dirt or gets way inside, you've got a foul ball or a strikeout.
Vespasio has delivered his sermon to Wood. Still nobody out and a runner on. And here's Hannigan, who reached on an error that allowed a run to score in the second.
And George, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, I think that Travis Wood has awakened the Reds. You drill Jay Bruce in the ribs, everybody's coming to the plate with vengeance on their mind. They want to beat you and beat you bad now. Not just get a couple of knocks. They want to knock you out of the game.
Your old manager Roger Craig used to say, let sleeping dogs lie.
You got that right.
When he wanted to go after somebody, he did, but for no reason. Roger was smart. He was tough, but he was smart.
Well, I learned that lesson the hard way. To Jeff Bagwell. Remember that story?
Tell it to those who haven't heard it.
He was 0 for something against me, and it was 0 for a lot. Had him 0-2, and I knocked him down.
Grounded down to short. They'll get one at second on to first. They turn 2. The runner erased. 2 away.
Knocked down Jeff Bagwell because I had gotten him out so many times. Most of the time it was either a strikeout or just a weak pop up in the infield. The very next pitch was a fastball up about head high, and he hit it out of the ballpark, dead center field. One of the longest home runs I'd ever had hit off of me at Candlestick. And I don't think I got him out again for the rest of my career until my last time I faced him. And that was when I was hurt. He didn't know what I was throwing. So as you said, let sleeping dogs lie.
Here's Bronson, struck out first time up.
Don't fire him up if you don't have to.
Amen. Strike right down the middle, 2-1. And that was a team, too, very similar to this team, the Reds, that stuck. They would stick up for each other.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, Biggio, Bagwell, Ausmus down the line. You rush with any one of them, you're in trouble. And that's what this club has developed in its clubhouse, something that wasn't there a couple of years ago.
Well, you're right. And that's one of the reasons that the Reds are able to win without their best player and their MVP in Joey Votto.
Now, having said that, Jeff Bagwell was like 0 for 22 against Scott Sullivan.
Yeah.
And Scott could have thrown anything at him.
I ask Scott all the time, what are you throwing this guy? And he said, I'm throwing him fastballs. And I'm like, well, every time I throw him a fastball, he hits the thing off the wall. And he said, well, my fastball is moving. He said, have you ever thought about throwing a 2-seamer? I said, yeah, I thought about it. I said, but it doesn't move like yours does. Mine's straight.
Arroyo, left center field, hit pretty good. That's going back. One hop off the wall. Bronson around first. He'll cruise into second with his first double of the year.
Fastball out over the plate. At least belt high, if not more than that.
That's Bronson Arroyo safe at second. Safe and secure.
New York line. He hit that ball off the wall in a New York minute.
I remember every time we'd play the Astros and I'd walk to the batting cage and Bagwell would be hitting, the first thing you'd say, did you guys trade Scott Sullivan yet? Yeah. Please. Ripped off the glove of Valbuena. Here comes Arroyo. He'll score. Cozart's going to second. That's a double for Cozart.
Cozart is just a flat-out doubles machine.
Fourth double of the week for Zach Cozart.
And another RBI to go with it. Another fastball in the middle of the plate. And in the big leagues, that's what you're supposed to do with the ball in the middle of the plate. Smoke it.
The Reds tag on another one. They lead it 5-3. And here comes Stubbs. Cozart's first hit of the night. Stubbs reached on an infield hit and struck out. 1 for 2. Right field, if it stays fair, it's trouble. It will be fair and off the wall. Stubbs rounding second. Is he going to look at him go into third? Here comes the throw, not in time. Boy, he looked like Bambi going around second.
I tell you what, George, I've seen a lot of fast guys and played with a lot of fast guys, but when he starts getting it going, my goodness, can he turn it on. Ball down into the right field corner. Once he realizes that he's got 3, check this out. He hits first base. Now watch this. He goes straight from first to fifth. I mean, that is just lightning.
12 seconds.
Not even close.
12 seconds they just got him at.
Not even close.
Man, looked like a secretariat rounding the turn, didn't he?
Oh.
What strides. 6-3 Reds. 9th batter of the inning. Here's Brandon.
Probably shouldn't have hit Jay.
Michael Bowden has started to loosen in the bullpen for the Cubs. Just like that. Chris Bosio looking at a scoreboard that is flipped over fast here in the 4th. Bench coach Jamie Quirk next to him. The short. But the Reds hit for the cycle in the 4th inning. Ludwig a homer. Frazier a homer. A single from Rowland. Doubles from Cozart and Arroyo. And a double for Stubbs. And they get a cycle. They got the runs. By Ray St. Clair Roofing on Fox Sports Ohio. So you think you're a Reds fan? That was the highlight of today's Reds pregame. And every night before every game, you'll get the latest from the Reds clubhouse. Jim Day, Jeff Pecoro will keep you up to date on what's happening on the field and behind the scenes, only on your exclusive home for Reds baseball. Don't forget, join us this Sunday for pregame at Reds Live set for Sunglass Sunday. 100 people will receive free sunglasses courtesy of Fox Sports Ohio and Ohio Department of Public Safety, reminding you to drive sober or get pulled over.
Now it'll be up to Bronson Arroyo to keep things right where they're at.
Bronson helps his cause with a double of his own in the fourth as the Reds head 9 to the plate and lead at 6-3. Barney, a fly ball to left. Ludwig there got it. One away. Game 1 of 4 this weekend. Tomorrow, a double dip. Johnny Cueto against Jeff Samardzija in game 1. Reds live at 12:30. And Todd Redmond will be called up, making his major league debut to pitch game number 2 on Sunday. Matt Latos will go for the Reds against Chris Volstad. That's a 12:30 Reds live start of that one. Tomorrow's not a straight doubleheader. It's day night, so we'll have Reds live before the game at 12:30 and then Reds live before the game at 6:30. Todd's finally going to get a chance to pitch.
Yeah, what's amazing about Todd Redmond's debut, been to the big leagues with the Braves, as Rizzo puts a base hit into left center field, and he's come up twice with the Reds, but only for a day. He just comes up, goes back down. He's been the biggest insurance policy that anybody can imagine, and now he's going to get to pitch.
And I think one of the good changes, the Reds can add an extra player for this, unlike the old days when you'd have to make a roster move. No roster move had to be made because it was a rainout that forced a doubleheader. They're allowed to call him up and pitch and then send him back, and it's a
great rule.
It is. Why be disruptive to your team or teams in an unfair way?
Well, there's nobody on this ball club that deserves to be sent out, and you have to have another pitcher, and the only way you can do that is by bringing someone up. In the old days, you had to put somebody on the disabled list for 15 days, and they'd have to go to the minor leagues for 15 days.
1 ball, 1 strike to Soriano, who walked and lined to left. Hop to the right side and out of play. Redmond was acquired from Atlanta in a deal that sent Paul Janisch from Louisville to Atlanta. Had a chance to talk to him this week. Boy, he has been playing great baseball for the Braves, giving them exactly what they need, solid defense. He could always do that at short. They are so happy with him over there.
And I think everybody in this organization knew that Janisch would do very well and prosper if given an opportunity to play on a regular basis. He has always been as good as gold with that glove as a defensive shortstop.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Soriano. And Freddie Gonzalez told him, you just play defense.
Yeah, but there was no place for Janisch to play with the emergence of Zach Kozar. He has been everything that the Reds could ask for defensively, and he has been offensively has just been tremendous, especially for a rookie bat at the top of your order.
And then you look past that, Didi Gregorius, Billy Hamilton coming up at the shortstop spot.
And you got a lot of guys that are going to be pushing these guys in the big leagues here shortly. Henry Rodriguez down there, a left-handed hitter. Saw him in spring training. Very, very good.
By the way, speaking of Billy Hamilton, Pensacola playing a doubleheader tonight, so he may very well have the stolen base record before it's over. So far, he doesn't have a stolen base in game one. He has one stolen base in game one. Should get it this weekend, though, if he can get on base. 3 balls, 2 strikes. With 1 away, a swing and a miss. Soriano disposed of.
Slow breaking ball. How hard is it to wait? Well, very hard if you ask most hitters, especially on a ball that has that much bite and break to it, coming from a sidearm delivery as Arroyo did there. I still think, George, somewhere, somehow, Billy Hamilton's going to end up in the outfield.
Yep.
And the timing may end up being perfect for the Reds if they keep Ludwig for another year, and you never know. Billy Hamilton may be your next left fielder and leadoff hitter, batting in the number 1 spot, very similar to Vince Coleman back in the Cardinal days.
My Reds fans, most have not seen him. He is electrifying. And, you know, you saw him in spring training a lot over the last couple of years. I mean, the reports, you know, I talk to folks through the minor leagues all the time. In every city he goes to, it's like when Aroldis Chapman first came to the major leagues and everybody wanted to see 102, 3, 4 mile an hour fastball. They want to see him run. Here's a looping fly ball into right.
I got to see him in high school.
A base hit, nothing to show for it. Bronson's got a 6-3 lead. Larkin, moment number 10. Barry, always praised for his leadership and community work, was honored back in 1994 as a recipient of the Lou Gehrig Memorial Award, presented every year to the Major League Baseball player who best exemplifies Gehrig's character and integrity both on and off the field. And we talk about leadership. Joe Morgan brought it to the Reds, and Barry brought it to every ballpark he ever entered. A leader among men, now a Hall of Famer, Barry Larkin. There's Ryan Ludwig. He started it all, and of course we'll honor Barry when his number is retired on Barry Larkin weekend, the 24th through the 26th. Hope you join us here at Great American Ballpark.
They don't make too many like him.
Hey, you were talking about stolen bases, and I mean, Barry was a great base stealer, and maybe he and Ozzie Smith were the best at stealing third of our generation, because they would read a pitcher. I don't know that they ever got caught going to third. That's a dribbler. Wood will throw out Ludwig, and there's one away. But I remember in '95 when the Reds were heading to the postseason, and he was locked in a battle for the stolen base lead. And the final month of the season, he could have easily won the stolen base honors in the National League, but he didn't run. And we were sitting one day, and somebody came up and said, you know, how come you're not running? He said, look, we're in the business of winning baseball games, whereas the other two who were close to the stolen base lead were trying to steal every chance they got.
Yeah, it didn't matter to them.
What mattered to Barry was winning.
Was winning the ball game. And I remember us having that conversation in the locker room, that doing something for yourself individually.
Ripped to right, gone back, hit me, I hit you.
Probably shouldn't have hit Jay Bruce.
He won't even peek over there. Well, if Travis Wood sent a message, Jay Bruce and the Reds have sent one back. .25 for Bruce.
All they did was just hack him off. That ball's got a little red in it. And I ain't talking about the color.
Walk softly, carry a big stick, works in baseball too.
Yeah.
There's Todd Frazier. He homered last time up. He's 2 for 2. 25 homers, 75 knocked in for Bruce. That's how you respond.
Yeah.
Now, what'd you say?
Yeah.
What'd you say before that?
You heard me.
You don't think what?
I don't think they should have hit Jay Bruce.
It's a ground out. Frazier's retired. And we'll show you the results from the Meyer Text Bowls. Here's your chance to win a Fox Sports Ohio Meyer prize pack. Text Meyer to 37664 to be entered. Good luck, everybody. The results. Should he play in the infield or the outfield? Well, the way Ludwig's been hitting, most of you believe that either filling in for Joey Still some at first, playing some at third is the most likely place for Todd Frazier to play once Joey Votto comes back. Well, Dusty had a whale of a challenge when he lost Joey Votto. Then he lost Scott Rowland. And they'll have another challenge when they're back in the lineup every day to try to find at bats for Frazier.
Well, the one thing that you can do as a manager as the season progresses, if the Reds can continue to hold on to this 6-7 run lead, you can get guys days off, a couple of days off here and there, and let them refresh their legs, and Todd Frazier can be the guy that helps you do that.
Rowland retired, but before he is, Jay Bruce answers being plunked by Travis Wood by ripping one to right. 25 homers for Bruce. The Reds lead 7-3.
Day with you just beside the Reds dugout. And before today's game and special ceremony, George Foster did the honors and Chris Heisey the recipient of the Heart and Hustle Award, given annually to a player who demonstrates a passion for the best embodies and values and spirit of tradition of the game. Reds Hall of Famer George Foster, as I said, presented the award. Previous winners include Adam Dunn, Ryan Friel, Jerry Hairston Jr., Adam Rosales, Johnny Gomes, and Miguel Cairo. So Chris Heisey, very deserving of that honor. And guys, as Bronson Arroyo goes to work here against the Cubs, from one special story to another, I'd like to introduce you to Ted Kramer. He's from the White Oak area. He's suffering from Down syndrome, but his parents won an auction, allows him to be the bat boy tonight. He met all the players before the game, and I want to tell you what, I just met this young man, and no one, and I mean no one, has been more enthusiastic to be in a major league dugout than my boy Ted right here. He has brought some life to this Reds bench, and these home runs that are hit, a couple of them, he's the first one to high-five the guys as they come in. A terrific guy and terrific story. George?
Great job, JD, and a great story. It's been great to watch from here as one by one each of the players in the Reds dugout all night long have been hunkered down and right around Teddy. It's a shot into the corner, rounding first. Going to second will be Valbuena, and they'll stop at second. Well, Valbuena, who homered back in the second, gets his second hit. Now, you'll see some athletes at times do lip service to caring about people, but this group is different, Cowboy. They're genuine.
I think we know that just by being around.
The leadoff hit here in the sixth. And here's Brett Jackson. Jackson flied to right and reached on a knuckleballing line drive that ate up Brandon Phillips for a base hit in the fourth.
He's had a couple of pretty good at-bats thus far.
World of talent, great promise, and learning the game at the major league level.
And you can see there, off speed, running away from the hitter. It gets called a strike. You start to pitch off the plate and break it back to the corner, and you get a swing and a miss. Finesse at its finest.
Valbuena off second. No balls and 2 strikes to Jackson. In a tight strike zone tonight. Arroyo doesn't get the call there, and it's 1-2.
Arroyo, a couple of pitches in the high 70s, and he comes back at 85 there and dropped down to try to get it. Looks like 95 after the 2 earlier pitches.
Got him.
Boy, wow, that's pitching 101 right there. Let's check out the Mazda pitch by pitch. First pitch from Bronson Arroyo, the slow changeup off the plate, the backdoor breaking ball. Sidearm high fastball, no swing. Now watch this ball come back. Oh, you raise your arms as a left-handed hitter and you watch the ball cut right in front, right over the heart of the plate. Head drops back to the dugout.
19 strikeouts and 35 at bats for Jackson here at the major league level. Here's Clevenger. Walked twice in his 2 previous plate appearances. High hopper on the outfield grass. Phillips will get the out.
Brandon Phillips made that play look so easy, and that was a very difficult play. Ball is a high bouncing ball. He catches it going backwards, and you could hear him You could see him. You couldn't hear him, but you could see him talking to Todd Frazier. That was a good job by not going for that ball. Frazier goes straight to first base. And that's the only way that play would have been made. Catching it in the outfield and turning around and making a nice shot at first.
The last two Reds Gold Glove winning second basemen, Pokey Reese and Brandon Phillips, came up as shortstops, and they had shortstop arms that can only make a play like that.
Exactly.
There's Brian LaHare.
Phillips the same way.
LaHare pinch hitting for Wood, so Travis's night is done. LaHare and Cardenas, two left-handed bats. Vitters, Mather, and Castillo, right-handed bats on the bench for Dale Swain. Wood pitched great against the Reds in Chicago. Different story this time.
Yeah. Much different. And in this ballpark, it has never been a good story for the left-hander Travis Wood. 3-6 career coming into tonight. A 5.30 earned run average. 73 innings pitched, 10 home runs. And tonight wasn't a whole lot different.
To LaHare. Big swing, 2-2.
Well, if you're Dale Swain, George, this is the one guy off of your bench that can, even with 2 outs and 1 swing of the bat, can bring you back within 2 runs and put you right back in the ball game. And Arroyo knows that as well as anybody.
He is 1 for 5 at a home run off Bronson in their previous matchups. LaHare comes in at 258 with 14 home runs, and those home runs really vaulted him to the All-Star game. He came to the All-Star team by way of the player vote.
I think a lot of folks thought that he may be part of the trading deadline, but it just didn't happen.
2-2. High fly ball to left, almost in his tracks, playing him perfectly as Ludwig. There's your final out of the inning. And a souvenir for the fans in left field. Reds lead at 7-3. Back to work. Royal due up second. At-Bat 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. You get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at-bat to 31826 or visit reds.com for details. Tonight's broadcast, don't forget, is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting the United States Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries and abroad, ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, Japan, all over the world, and we say welcome and thanks for protecting our great country. Thanks for all you do, and we hope you're enjoying tonight's baseball game from back home.
No doubt about that. New pitcher for the Cubs, it'll be Michael Bowden. B-O-W-D-E-N, wears number 28, a right-handed pitcher. Just recalled from AAA Iowa prior to Monday's game. No record, a 6.75 earned run average. This will be only his 12th appearance. And he is another pitcher that came from the Boston Red Sox organization, where he made his major league debut in 2008.
There's a guy coming to the plate whose whole family, they were Red Sox fans when he grew up in Andover, Massachusetts. Not a high draft pick like some of the players on the field today, but just as the 5-tool players can contribute, Ryan Hannigan's been one of the keys to the Reds this year and again in 2010 when they went to the postseason. Hannigan today reached on an error that allowed the Reds' first run to score in the first and bounced into a double play.
We used to kid around so much with Joe Oliver. He was our catcher when I was here with the Reds. And the joke going around the locker room was that he was the one carrying the brain. Because he kept all the scouting report in his head. He had to keep all of the.
Plus, his head was a noggin and a half.
Yeah. If you had a head full of quarters, you'd have been a billionaire for Joe Oliver. But we said, you know, he was the guy that carried the brain, because he had to remember all the pitchers' pitches. He had to remember what they wanted to do, and he had to remember all the scouting reports. And for this Reds club, he may not have the size of head that Joe Oliver had as far as the helmet that he wears, but as far as intelligence and the way he goes about his business, Ryan Hannigan, he carries the brain.
And we get Nutsy and him together to try to figure out who had the bigger head, right? And Bruce Bochy. Boch was the other one.
Bochy.
Barney knocks it down. Nice play. Hannigan retired one away.
That ball was hit rather hard, and a good quick first step by Darwin Barney. Otherwise, that ball is in the right field.
Talk about Todd Frazier just being a ball player. That's what Barney's like too. He just does all the fundamental things correctly. One away. Here's Bronson. Looped into center, but right in his tracks. Jackson will haul it in. 2 away.
Another one of those types of balls hit right at the center fielder. And you could see Jackson drop step 1 foot and freeze in his tracks. Make sure you judge the ball before you take off.
Now, you saw those numbers, and very clearly, I mean, you go around the league and say who are the best second basemen in the league. That guy's on the list. Is he Gold Glove caliber? Sure he is. Can he win a Gold Glove? That's another story. And Brandon Phillips owns the Gold Glove. He has been more spectacular than Darwin Barney, and he also has been a better offensive player, and we all know that offense has something to do with the Gold Glove. It shouldn't, but it does.
It does. But the thing with Brandon Phillips is that he makes plays that nobody else can make. The ball that is just over the pitcher's head that he comes running in and grabs it barehanded, throws it with a quick underarm throw to get the runner by just a step.
Cozart's retired. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Reds still lead at 7-3 heading to the 7th. Down the game with interviews from Dusty Baker and players. Reds Live brought to you by Kings Honda and the Kings Auto Mall. Visit KingsHondaUSA.com. You want to hear from Dusty first? You'll get it on the Reds Live post game. You want to hear from Teddy Kramer? Teddy will be down there. I'm sure he'll have a big smile on his face, and you'll hear from him too. Dusty's newest best friend, Teddy Kramer, right behind him right there. That's post game coming up right here on the home of the Reds, Fox Sports Ohio. Time for our AT&T trivia question. What did Pete Rose do in his final at bat, and who was it against? Got any ideas? We can say this, that this is the anniversary of that occurrence. Should we give another hint? Is David DeJesus stepping in as we lead off to 7.
What I thought was true, but
1986. This date, 8/17/86.
I wasn't for sure. Did you say 1886?
86. 1986. Arroyo knocks it down. Can he make a play? Yes, he does. Now the former Gold Glove winner had his glove help him out here. Nice play.
Not only the glove, but the fact that Arroyo can throw the ball submarine style with the best of them. Ball ricochets off of his glove. He gets to it in a hurry. Now the throw is sidearm, and it's in quick fashion. Not many pitchers can throw the ball from down there. They would have had to come up, and that one little split second of getting your arm up on top of the ball would have allowed the runner to reach base.
Line drive center field. Darwin Barney has his first hit of the evening. DeJesus is 0 for 4. Barney's now 1 for 4. We talk about all the Cubs who had Red Sox ties, and you could put Bronson on that list too. Bronson, of course, picked up off waivers by Theo Epstein from the Pirates, came to the Red Sox and was part of their 2004 championship team. Boy, what a mainstay he's been for the Reds all these years.
Oh. The numbers for Bronson they're just incredible, especially for a guy that throws so many breaking balls. 224 starts, first in the National League, second in the big leagues. And then 1,430 innings. All of this coming in tonight, of course. First in the National League. I just don't know that there are very many guys that throw that many breaking balls that can stay that healthy and stay around for that long.
Well, a couple of long innings have upped his pitch count today. He's past the 100 pitch mark. Dusty's coming out for a checkup and a pat on the back as he'll head in. He'll get a great round of applause here. We'll let you listen to it. You're watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio. Time for our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen.
New pitcher for the Reds, Jose Arredondo. Everyday Arredondo. 5-2 on the year. This will be his 53rd appearance, which is tied for the lead with Sean Marshall and Aroldis Chapman for the Reds. 2.64 earned run average, 51 strikeouts in 47 2/3 innings.
So Bronson goes 6 1/3, 9 hits, 3 runs. The 2 runners on are his responsibility. Arredondo will face Alfonso Soriano, who's 0 for 2 and a walk.
And there is only one thing on Soriano's mind. Swing hard, finish high, and try to hit it out of here.
21 homers, 71 knocked in for the Cubs left fielder. High in the air to right, but it'll stay in the park. Tagging at second is Barney. He will cruise over to third, and the runner will hold at first. So it's first and third, 2 away. Time for our AT&T trivia question answer. The question tonight: what did Pete Rose do in his final at bat? Who was it against? Well, he didn't do what you thought he would do, which was get a base hit, did he?
the Goose. You know, I got to play with Gossage in San Francisco.
Now, there is somebody in the ballpark who knew that answer, who's sitting over in the radio booth tonight. Our buddy.
That is correct.
Well, she pitched in that game.
That's right.
And what else happened in that game?
The Lark Man.
Yeah.
Swinging a drive. But he wasn't wearing the proper number.
His first number.
So he was wearing 15, not 11.
His first home run.
First home run of his illustrious career. Tell you don't see that anymore, George. One team, one player, that long of a career.
We talked, and we've talked, I mean, long before you came to the broadcast booth, we've talked about the similarity between Derek Jeter and Barry Larkin. And Jeter may be the last, when it's all said and done, to be on one team and go to the Hall of Fame.
That is a great comparison. It really is, because of the way that they went about their business, about the way they played the game, and the fact that they came through when they had to.
Swing and a miss by Castro, 1 and 2. And just think, Gene Bennett, the Reds super scout, really thought that the Reds were going to draft Derek Jeter. Could have had Jeter and Larkin in the same uniform. By the way, we want to say get well wishes to Gene Bennett's wife Loretta, who's been under the weather of late. Loretta, we love you. Get well, get out. Gino wants you to be mowing the lawn soon, so let's get out there and get working. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Castro, who's 2 for 3. Down to short. They'll take care of it at second. Arredondo does another bang-up job. 2 quick outs. To the bottom of 7 we go. 7-3 Reds. Reds when they take on the Cardinals at Great American Ballpark. Stick around after the game for a Barry Blast fireworks show featuring a soundtrack from Barry's historic career, presented by CBG. Your Reds are on a mission to take the Central, and you can see it live. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or Reds.com today.
Now, I bet that would be pretty awesome, while the fireworks are going off, to be able to watch the pictures of Barry Larkin's career and all of the happenings going on. That'd be pretty good now.
Should be fun. Stubbs bangs it down to third. He'll be retired. He reached on an infield hit in the first, struck out in the third, and then hit a rocket around the bases triple in the fourth. If you joined us late, Reds led 1-0. They scored a run on an error in the second. The Cubs tied it on a home run by Luis Valbuena, and then the Reds exploded for 6 runs in the fourth, and then another run in the fifth. In the fourth, they hit for the cycle, included in that 2 homers, one by Ludwig, one by Frazier, and the other homer of the night, one by Jay Bruce. And all of this ignited after Jay Bruce was plunked in the ribs on a pitch from Travis Wood. There's Brandon, flied out, grounded out.
When Jay was hit after the home run by Ludwig. And so he hit Ludwig, or he hit Jay, and then Frazier went deep. And then it began.
Valbuena takes care of that, 2 away. Come for the Reds Day for more fun. Experience 3 museums in one building at Cincinnati Museum Center. Make it a weekend getaway and book your stay at CincinnatiUSA.com. Ludwig started that inning with a home run. The Reds led 1-0, trailed 3-1, and now lead 7-3.
Tell you what, George, watching Brandon Phillips, I would say it is time for a day off.
I was thinking the same thing after that swing. You're right. Trotting down first.
Well, it's just over the last 3 or 4 ball games, not from a hustling standpoint or any of that. It's just the snap in his bat, some of the swings that he's taken. Everybody else has had a day off or has been able to take a day where they were out of the lineup and just gotten to shut it down for a bit. And Brandon will be the last one to tell you, yeah, I'll take a day off.
That's Dusty's son that he's wrestling with down on the bench. And congratulations to Little D. He was a member of the USA Baseball Under-14 camp that was down in North Carolina last week. Did a great job. And he's going to be an exceptionally young athlete. What a great young man, too. You're talking about Brandon, too. He put a lot of pressure on himself, stepping in for Joey in that 3 spot in the order.
And he did a great job at it. Still is.
He realized how important he would be once Joey Votto went down. Boy, he's answered the call.
And I know he's had some time out where he's had some injury issues that took him out of the game.
Drill to left, still going up to the wall and off the top of the wall. Rounding first, going to second. The throw will be in time. They got him. Well, Soriano played that perfectly. Give him credit. He picked it off the top of the wall, and his throw was perfect to second. So Ludwig gets his second hit. Could have been a double. It's a single and thrown out to end the inning. Nice work, Matty Sigafus, dialing up some highlights for us down in the truck. Highlights of a 7-run, 10-hit, 3-run, 9-hit ball game. The Reds lead at 7-3. The big inning was the fourth. The Reds hit for the cycle, including a couple of homers. Erase a 3-1 deficit, take the lead, and they lead it 7-3. Well, Arredondo's done his job. Here comes the big rig.
Jonathan Broxton. He'll be coming on for the 6th time for the Reds. Came over from the Kansas City Royals, where he was 1-2, had a 2.27 earned run average, 23 saves while in the American League. Now pitching for the Redlegs.
Picked up a few games in that deal, huh? In the standings.
Yeah.
Here's Luis Valbuena. He's had a pretty good night for himself. A homer gave the Cubs the lead in the 2nd. His 4th homer of the year. Flied out and then doubled to right in the 6th. So 2 for 3. He leads it off in the 8th. Great to have you with us. George Grand, the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley up here in the booth. Joel Luckup back with us tonight. Keeping tabs on Billy Hamilton and his race for stolen bases down at Pensacola, and in the Central Division battle, he tells us that the Pirates lead the Cardinals 2-0. They're now in the 6th in St. Louis. Down in the truck, Josh Hall, our producer, Roy Alfers, our director, Alan Layton's taking care of our graphics view of tonight's ball game. You saw the highlights from Ziggy. Kent Dreamweaver taking care of pre and post game show honors. Anthony DeMarco, our TD tonight. Jim Crow doing audio. And down in the tape room, those highlights just keep rolling. The replays keep rolling. Kevin Penowit, Matt Crowley, Zach Riedmeyer, Donnie Johnson. And one day after his birthday, Jesse's still working, Cowboy. He's with us.
Still going.
Like the ever-ready bunny. Pass, Cozart into left, a base hit. Valbuena's got a 3-hit ball game going.
He hit the ball out of the ballpark, and ever since then he has tried to shoot the ball the other way, and he's beat the shift from the Reds every time. I was going to say, George, that when Jonathan Broxton got here at the trade deadline, he had not pitched for quite some time in a Royals uniform, simply because there were no save opportunities. They weren't winning too many ball games, and got over here, and as a reliever, when you don't pitch for 5, 6, 7 days, and then all of a sudden you're thrust into a meaningful ball game, you get a little more stretched out than what you're ready for. And I think that's where the biggest issue for Jonathan Broxton came. He got awfully sore and probably didn't say anything about it until it just really took its toll.
One ball delivered. And in a bullpen that has some characters, Sam LeCure at the top of it, Jonathan's a quiet guy.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't say a lot. And when you come to a new ball club, you don't say a lot.
Yeah.
They tell you to pitch, you pitch.
And you look at the stuff that Jonathan Broxton has. He's still ringing it up at 96 miles an hour. And he has sharpened up his breaking ball much more after he had that surgery on his elbow. Like that one.
I mean, when we faced him the first time when he was with the Dodgers, it was 98, 99, 100. One after another after another. But that was it.
Right. He didn't have the breaking ball that he has now. He's much more of a pitcher now than just a rare back and see how hard you can throw it.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Brett Jackson, who's 1 for 3 and a strikeout.
Wow. It's a pretty good pitch right there.
Boy.
Curveball on the pitch before at 76 and a slider there at 86 right on the inside corner. and did not get the call.
Two. Jackson strikes out for the second time tonight, 1 away. And here comes the catcher, Clevenger.
And this is what you want from a guy that's your setup man. You don't want him out there dancing around the corners with a big league like you got tonight. You want him to get the baseball and go right at him. And that's exactly what he does right there. 94 miles an hour. If you can hit it, swing. If you can't, well, go on back to the dugout and bring me somebody else.
1 away. Here's Clevenger. Walked, bounced out. Left field towards the line. It is a fair ball. Rounding second, going to third is Valbuena. They're going to hold him there. It's second and third. So a double for the Cubs catcher.
Looked like a first pitch swing on a ball that was a little bit up in the strike zone. Still had good velocity on it, but that ball was up a little bit. I think what Hannigan is doing now is going out and explaining to Broxton exactly who he's facing, how they want to go about it, and what sign they'll use with the runner at second base.
This is Adrian Cardenas, who will pinch hit for Bowden, the pitcher. And out comes Brian Price.
I think Price is going to do the same thing. Cardenas is only a .214 hitter. The pinch hitting, he's worse than that. He's at 182.
By the way, you're talking about the bullpen, just an update for everybody. Billy Bray, the left-hander, making his rehab appearance for Louisville. He pitched last night, pitched a scoreless inning of relief. 10 pitches, 5 strikes, and you know the Reds still circling with those two guys who have been the X factors all season, Bassett and Bray.
And I think when Bill Bray left here, he felt fine. And I talked to him for a long time about it, and things just did not start well for him. He never got into a rhythm of pitching.
Coming right at him for strike one.
Well, Broxton still has a lot in that tank. He can still reach back and get that mid-90s heater when he has to have it. That was an 88-mile-an-hour slider that looked like a fastball. Cardenas swung so hard thinking it was a fastball, he knocked his helmet off. Look at that. How do you like me now?
He had a at-bat against the Reds and had a pinch hit in Chicago last week. No balls, 2 strikes. He's had 2 stints with the Cubs this year, coming up from AAA Iowa. Still nice to see the name Cardenas every once in a while.
Yeah.
Valbuena started the inning with a single. Clevenger double, so it's second and third with 1 away. Oh, 2. Got him. I think the message was don't mess around, huh?
Go get him, big boy. Go get him. 96. You see where Hannigan sets up because he knows where the ball is running to. So you set up inside knowing that the ball is going to run up and to the middle of the plate, and you're going to get that swing.
You mentioned Joe Oliver, that he carried the brain was with him, and it's not just pitch selection, but knowing what you could call for a fastball on 5 different pitchers, and each one does something different. You got to know your pitcher.
You got to know what their fastball is going to do, breaking ball as well. You get so many scouting reports when you're down there in the meeting room, George, and when the scouting report says, okay, this guy can't hit a hard slider down and away. Well, there are 3 or 4 guys in the room that say, well, what if I don't throw that? What if mine is a curveball, or my slider is not hard down and away? Well, you better figure out something else to get him out with.
That's a strike to the leadoff hitter. David DeJesus is 0 for 4.
This guy does not hit the split finger well at all. Well, guess what? I don't have one. So what should I throw him? My knuckleball?
Ball and a strike. Sure appears that Broxton has redialed his approach since Brian Price came out to visit.
I would say so, yes.
Great handler of men, that guy right there.
He really is, George. I am a big fan of Brian Price, and I didn't know him from Adam before he came here to the Reds. But he has done a phenomenal job with his pitching staff, not only the bullpen, but the starting guys and the minor leaguers that have come up.
Wow, what a snare by Broxton. Hit right on the button. Might have been a run-scoring base hit, maybe 2. But Broxton, the big rig, hauls this in. That's an inning-ending defensive play from the big guy. Reds still lead at 7-3. By Miller Lite. Turning point of this game, Travis Wood hits Jay Bruce. Jeff Brantley said
he shouldn't have hit Jay Bruce.
Well, that was his at bat. He marched down to first. Next time up, Jay Bruce. Whammo, they hit him, he hits them, and Jeff Brantley said
he shouldn't have hit Jay Bruce.
Before that inning was over, the Reds combined for 5 runs. The end result, a 7-3 lead, and Jeff Brantley said,
I don't think they should have hit Jay Bruce.
7 runs, 10 hits, and an error for the Reds. 3 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for the Cubs. As we go to the bottom of the 8th, and who's coming to the plate? Number 32, Jay Bruce. Bruce, Frazier, and Rowland. If you joined us late, the runs for the Reds, the first one scored on an error. And in that fourth inning, Ryan Ludwig homered to pull the Reds to within 1, 3-2. Bruce was hit by that pitch. Frazier homered to make it 4-3 Reds. Before the inning was over, Rowland singled, Arroyo doubled, Cozart doubled, Stubbs tripled, and the Reds had 5 runs and a 6-3 lead. Then Bruce followed with his homer to make it 7-3. Dribbler to the right side. Barney, nice play, quick flip.
New pitcher for the Cubs is Alberto Cabrera, right-hander. 8th appearance for the Cubs here this year, a 7.20 earned run average. He wears number 55 on the back of the jersey. Recalled from AAA Iowa on August 1st, and that was when he made his major league debut.
Bruce retired. Here's Frazier. Todd 2 for 3, singled in the second and hit his 16th homer in the fourth. Don't forget, double dip tomorrow, day-night doubleheader. Reds live for game number 1 at 12:30. Johnny Cueto against Jeff Samardzija. Cueto will go for his 16th victory against 6 losses. Samardzija will go for his 9th against 10. And Samardzija's last 2 times out, he's looked good. He's finally getting it, huh?
He is really starting to turn. Not that he's starting to. He has done this for a while. But he's pitching, and with his stuff, hard fastball boring in on the right-handers, hard sinking fastball away, and the fact that he's able to use the slider and the split finger to go with it, making him awfully tough to hit.
Swing and a miss. Frazier's retired. And I'll miss the Reds and Cardinals August 24th through the 26th at this great ballpark, great American ballpark, and it'll be presented by Kroger. Friday and Saturday, all fans in attendance will receive a Barry Larkin commemorative print thanks to Cincinnati Bell and the Inquirer. Plus, don't miss a Barry Blast postgame fireworks show Friday night and a special pregame Barry Larkin jersey retirement on Saturday. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or reds.com. Here's Scott. Rowland fly to right, single to center, and bounce to short.
Now, even though this ball game is 7-3 at the moment, the Reds are treating this as though it is a closing type situation. And I would not be surprised at all if we see the left-hander Aroldis Chapman come in at the end of the game, and he is in fact warming up in the bullpen. He has not pitched in quite some time. Even with the doubleheader tomorrow, you got to get these guys in the game.
Swing and a miss by Rowland. It's a 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 8th. To the 9th we go. The Reds will try to close this one out. They lead 7-3. time for our John Morrell hot dog play of the game. Good defense from a couple of Reds pitchers. How about this from Bronson Arroyo? The sidearm flip. Great play for the out. That was numero uno. Here's number 2. Broxton, gloves in the right place, and he takes that blistering shot off the bat of David DeJesus, turns it into an out. 2 darn good plays, our John Morrell hot dog plays of the night.
You could hear that ball snap in the back of his mitt when he made the catch. Speaking of snapping into the mitt, the man on the mound does that for a living. That would be Aroldis Chapman. He will come on in a non-save situation. He has not pitched since the 12th of this month. That would give him, I believe, 5 days off. I'm a little ahead on my watch there. But the left-hander comes on now, and tell you what, George, you can talk about him till you're blue in the face. Saves in each of his last 16 appearances. That's a franchise record that Jeff Shaw had. This will not be a save situation tonight. And you look at the strikeouts per 9 innings, 16.74. He's headed towards records that are unknown.
He'll face Darwin Barney, who's 1 for 5 against him in their career. The oohs and the ahs tell you all you need to know. 96 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike.
14 strikeouts. 14 walks. 106 strikeouts for the left-hander Chapman.
Barney gets some wood on it. Cozart has it. 1 away. Now, last week in Chicago, he saved 3 games against the Cubs. He was amazing that whole series, Cowboy.
And a lot of it has to do, well, all of it has to do with strike 1. He has turned into a pitcher's pitcher with a closer's attitude of just a flat-out mean dog.
Frazier, 2 away. And in that series last week, it was 3 different games, and 3 different times Alfonso Soriano faced Chapman, and every time Chapman struck him out. So here comes Alfonso. And these fans liking every bit of a 7-3 lead with, you can call him the Cuban Missile. Tomas Vera, the assistant trainer who worked with him so much, likes to call him the Whip. That's pretty good. I like it too. Well, the Whip is ready to go to work against Soriano, who's 0 for 4 overall and strikeouts 3 times last week.
I like the Missile because I like to hear the fans when they load the Missile. He's had a strikeout, at least 1 batter in every outing but 1 this season. And right now, he's got 2 outs and a batter at the plate with no strikeout.
Well, Soriano got wood, but not enough. 3 ground balls will do it. Fans will tell you that story is complete. Chapman, no save here, but he closes the door with a 1-2-3 9th inning. The story of this game, a big 5-run inning for the Reds. When Jay Bruce got hit, the Cowboys said,
they shouldn't have hit Jay Bruce.
When Jay Bruce homered, the Cowboys said,
they shouldn't have hit Jay Bruce.
And when the game wrapped up, the Cowboys said,
they probably shouldn't have hit Jay Bruce.
7-3 Reds, 7-10-1 for Cincinnati, 3-11-2 for the Cubs. Whole lot more to talk about when we return after this.